Hey, it's Clay with Alabama Organic Gardening, and I am about to get ready to plant some tomatoes, or actually start some tomatoes and some other plants in a seed starting mix in a couple of peat pots and maybe some other pots. We'll see what we got laying around. Anyway, I wanted to carry you along with me just to show you what's out there, what's kind of the easiest thing to do down here in the South as far as tomatoes go and other like-minded plants. We're going to be working with some compost, cow manure compost, and some like organic starting mix, potting soil mix, and then some rock dust, which I'll explain about later on. So Luna's going to help me. She's down there taking a nap, but I'll get her up in a minute. All right, let's go. So one of the first things you want to do is decide what kind of containers you're going to use for your plants, for your seedlings. Here's one option that I use. I used it last year, and it ended up being the one of the easiest methods ever, and that's just the little peat pots in the starting tray there. And you can see I've got about, I think that's a 72 seedling holder, and we've got some onions starting in there, some radishes and some peppers and a bunch of different kinds of plants. What else? Oh, I've got some Romanesco broccoli, cherry radishes, kale, Copenhagen cabbage, green star lettuce, crisp mint lettuce. I've got Fatalii peppers, jalapenos, Anaheim, California wonder peppers, white onions, and then some yellow onions as well. So, and you'll notice they are sitting on the piano. Every now and then, I do like to play for them a little bit. You know, a little or yeah, something like that. You know, just to get them going. So it's worked pretty well so far. Let's take a look at some other options. All right, so I just showed you the little starting set as far as little peat pot thingies go, peat pots and those. One thing I forgot to mention, last year I used a self-watering one. It's a bit more, actually it's quite a bit more expensive as far as gardening items go than your regular set, but I found that it worked very well. It really did. So, and you can actually save it and use it from season to season. You will find that I'm really not that responsible, I guess, as far as saving those type items. The one I had ended up getting cracked and didn't go very well into the next season. So anyway, here's another option. These are peat pots. It's all it is compressed sphagnum peat moss. And anyway, so basically you fill these with potting soil, or your seed starting soil is what we really should call it. And it comes in a lot of different sizes. You've got this. I think there may be one size below this. I know there's definitely a size or two up from this. These are the little round ones. These are the 3-inch round ones. These are what I'll be starting my tomatoes in for sure this year. I've got several stacks of those. So anyway, I'm going to choose this. If you're just starting out with gardening, may I please suggest that you start with the little peat pot pod method, those compressed peat pots, and I may try to get a little demonstration of those going. I didn't get to get mine this year because I didn't decide to start a channel yet. Anyway, so let's take a look at our soil, what we've got going on here. So the first thing I've got for you is the compost. So my starting mix is going to have a lot of compost in it, and so this is it right here. Let's kind of take a look at it. This is cow manure compost. I think this is the Black Cow brand. I started with a commercial compost because I wanted it to be as sterile as possible, and by sterile I mean there's no existing harmful bacteria in that mix. So, or it's going to add to my mix. So then I also went with a natural and organic starting mix. That's also a commercial product, and it's primarily peat moss. It's that sphagnum peat moss. You can see it's really, really light and airy. I think it may have some some perlite in there, maybe too. I'm not very sure. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, what I did here is I took 8 cups, and by cups I mean a cup that I picked up. I put 8 cups of compost in there. So now I'm going to add 8 cups of this this starting mix. So after I do that, my next item is actually something new to me this year. If you're familiar with the Google Plus gardening channels, there's this big rock dust debate going on. So I decided to join in. So mine is not going to be as scientific as some of the other guys out there. I'm looking at you, Stephen Legary, and some other guys out there. Mine's going to be kind of a general observation. Either it's going to be harmful to the plants, or either it's going to be very beneficial to the plants, or we're just going to have kind of a neutral result. I've got a lot of plants that I used last year that I'm growing again this year, so I kind of know what they're going to look like. I kind of know how big they got. So what I'm hoping is that it's going to be a big boost to my garden this year and my production of fruits and vegetables. So I will be adding that. I think I'm going to do, it's just going to be 1/8 of my seed starting mix. So we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of interested to see what it does. The theory is, and kind of the science behind it, is that over time the soil around our planet has specifically kind of the inhabited parts, suburbs and whatnot, have been the soil has been depleted of its of trace minerals, and so what we want to do is add those back. And so that's what we're going to be trying out here this season. So I hope it goes well. I think it will. I'm kind of excited a little bit. The nerd in me is really excited to get that going. So anyway, let's start mixing our potting mix here. So we're just going to take right here. Take 8 cups of these, and we're going to add it in. So I'm just going to get a level cup like that right there, and I'm just going to dump it in. Okay, so I've got the peat moss starting mix in there now. So I added that, and I mixed it by hand. It was pretty dirty, but I really liked getting my hands dirty. So here's what it looks like now. You can see all of that goodness in there. I hope you can see it as good as I can. There's a lot of organic material in there. A lot of that peat moss. It's real light. Right now there's not a whole lot of moisture in there. It holds together a little bit, but we're going to add some to it. But let's go ahead and add our cup of rock dust, glacial rock dust. So I'm going to add some here. You know what, this may be a bit much for a starting mix, but you know what? Let's just see. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, so let's try it out and see. If it does hurt something, if it just kills all of my seedlings, I may be asking you guys for some help. But I really don't think it's gonna hurt it. So, all right, last little bit here. It is quite dusty. I'm really hoping that my wife, doesn't get too terribly mad at me getting the table dirty. It's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I'm just kidding. That's a lie. Always better to ask for permission, to be honorable. All right. I'm going to mix this in a little bit more. That's a lot of rock dust. Kind of scaring myself, but I'm going to go with it and see what happens. Take a little twig out here. So, all right. I'm going to wet this down a little bit. I'm going to show you